So which is it? I know Bix has a game. I know you bribe quartermasters to leave valuables on the ships before they come in for scrap, but this isn't that. This isn't something that I let pass.
No. I went in and got this myself.
How? How's that possible? It was sealed on the Imperial Naval Base in Steergard.
Look, you got the money, I got the box. What else is there to talk about?
I'll give you another 1,000 credits to tell me how you got it.
Another 1,000.
Done. How?
You just walk in like you belong.
Takes more than that, doesn't it?
What, to steal from the Empire? What do you need? A uniform, some dirty hands, and an Imperial toolkit. They're so proud of themselves, they don't even care. They're so fat and satisfied, they can't imagine it.
Can't imagine what?
That someone like me would ever get inside their house, walk their floors, spit in their food, take their gear. They're so proud of themselves, so fat and satisfied.
These days will end. There will be no rules going forward.
People are standing up. That's what a reckoning sounds like.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This will be my new Star Wars Andor video. They dropped a new trailer with a whole bunch of new footage, so we'll break it down. If you're brand new to the channel, I will be doing Star Wars Andor videos for all the episodes. They're going to be starting in a couple weeks, so be sure to subscribe to get all those. That's right, pretty soon we'll have new Star Wars Andor episodes, along with House of the Dragon, She-Hulk, and a bunch of other stuff at the same time too, like Lord of the Rings episodes. Like, it's a bonanza of episodes. It's a wonder that I can keep up with everything. It'll be fun to try and make videos for all that stuff. But in the new clip, Cassian Andor is pulling a job for Stellan Skarsgård's Luthen character, who's a high-ranking member inside the Empire. It's not totally clear if he's also a member of the Senate, too, like Mon Mothma, but he is a high-ranking figure that seems like he has a place on Coruscant, because we see him there during the trailer, too. With a whole bunch of finery, like he's putting a bunch of rings on, he has a bunch of jewelry, he's also meeting Mon Mothma. So Coruscant itself and the Imperial Senate will be a big location during the series, because they didn't actually disband the Imperial Senate till like the events of A New Hope. Like when Darth Vader captured Princess Leia's Corellian Corvette, they had just disbanded the Imperial Senate.
The Imperial Senate will no longer be of any concern to us. I have just received word that the Emperor has dissolved the Council permanently.
The Bix that he's referring to is Adrian Aronha's character. We haven't had too much footage of her, but she's in a couple trailer scenes. She's meant to be Cassian Andor's on-again, off-again girlfriend, like they've broken each other's hearts and then gotten back together several times over. So they'll just have a lot of history when the show picks up, but it sounds like they're both working inside the Resistance together. That's basically what the Rebellion was called when it was just a bunch of pockets of Resistance, literally. The show itself is meant to show you the formation of the Rebellion, because they didn't actually call them the Rebellion till much later in the timeline. Like even during the events of Star Wars Rebels, which is like right before A New Hope, they were still called the Resistance. What they're doing though is that in Season 2 of Star Wars Andor, like they've already announced that they're doing Season 2 and they've started filming the episodes, is that every couple of episodes they'll jump an extra year in the timeline, so that by the end of Season 2 they'll be at the events of Star Wars Rogue One. But Luthen is asking Cassian Andor how he got this special item like this box from inside an Imperial naval facility, and lets us know what some of his tactics are in his pocket of the Resistance. Now, he himself is meant to be a specialist in this area. Like every person that's part of the Resistance doesn't have as easy a time grabbing stuff from inside the Empire as he does. He just happens to be very good at it. But Stellan Skarsgård's Luthen character also lets us know some of the Resistance tactics, and they kind of use the Empire against itself, or greedy members of the Empire against the Empire, saying that he knows that their Resistance bribes the Imperial quartermasters on ships to leave special items so that they can just steal them. The Imperial naval base that he refers to is on a planet called Steergard, or it's in a place called Steergard. It's not clear if it's a planet or just a place, and I believe it's meant to be brand new for the show because I haven't found a version of it online yet. There are a couple locations that we see in the trailer, so it could be one of these locations. And he gives Cassian a bunch more credits to learn about how he's able to steal such a high-value item from inside the Imperial naval base when nobody else should be able to do that. And it's this big eye-opening moment for Stellan Skarsgård's character where he's like, wait a minute, you can just walk in there and act like you're part of the Empire and nobody will look twice at you? And the speech that Cassian gives him is part of the voiceover in the trailers that you probably heard before, where he talks about how the Empire has gotten so fat and lazy, most of them even wouldn't consider that it's possible for someone like him to just waltz in and take something from them. So during this part of the timeline, security has just become very lax because the Empire has grown so big and so powerful since the events of Revenge of the Sith. All the officers, all the rank and file people just think the Empire is too big to fail, so it doesn't even cross their mind. Also, a funny thing here, casting Andor implies that he actually spits in their food when he's sneaking around inside these Imperial facilities, so best double check your food or don't leave it unattended. That'll make you paranoid. So a big part of the series is showing you how things come together and how they basically use the Empire against itself. Like, it's grown so big and there's so many complacent people inside of it that are either willing to help or either just don't care and will let them do whatever they want to. So that's how the Resistance is able to get a lot of their supplies. They literally just bogart it from the Empire. In fact, they're kind of doing that in the Mandalorian timeline, where Bo-Katan Kryze has been trying to marshal enough forces, stealing from Moff Gideon and the remnants of the Empire's forces. Technically, it's Grand Admiral Thrawn's forces. I think he would overrule Moff Gideon, but when you're talking about Imperial ranks, next to the Emperor, the most powerful people inside the Empire are either Grand Moffs or Grand Admirals who are about the same in power level, but their spheres of influences, like their actual jobs, are very, very different. So like, unless you're in the middle of a large battle, you're not going to see a Grand Admiral interacting with the Grand Moff, giving one another orders. And someone like Darth Vader kind of has a special position inside the Empire where he's powerful enough to basically tell Grand Moffs and Grand Admirals what to do, but he doesn't have an official position, like he himself doesn't have an actual rank. And the funny thing is that all the regular Imperial Navy people actually really do not like Darth Vader at all. Like, when he tells them what to do or pushes them around, they really, really hate that. It's just that they're too afraid to speak out against him because he will literally just force choke the life out of anyone who displeases him. But if we're talking about the Resistance using the Empire against itself during the series, like turning people inside the Empire against the Empire, the other funny side connection to Darth Vader is that he himself actually did not care at all about what happened to people in the Empire. He didn't care about any of them. He didn't care about the Inquisitors. He hated the Emperor. The Emperor and Darth Vader never trusted each other, and they were always looking to outmaneuver one another. Like, the Emperor always figured that Darth Vader would betray him eventually, and Darth Vader was always looking for a way to get rid of the Emperor. That was the whole thing he tried to do in Empire Strikes Back, is use Luke Skywalker to join forces with him so that they could overthrow the Emperor. But it's also why he was so quick to force choke all these Imperial officers, just because he didn't care about any of them. The only thing that Darth Vader actually cared about is his wife Padme, because at least for most of the series, he thought that his children had died at birth. It wasn't until right after the events of A New Hope, based on some of the new comics in the canon, that he learned that Luke Skywalker was his son. Like, he came into the events of Empire Strikes Back already knowing that Luke was his son. And then it wasn't until after that that he learned that Leia was also still alive as well. But they did say a lot of big legacy characters would guest star on this series. So I know people are asking, like, is Darth Vader going to show up? Will the Emperor show up? What about other really major characters? I believe that Bail Organa will have some sort of cameo scene because the people who were critical in the formation of the rebellion, and if that's what this series is all about, were Mon Mothma, who we saw in the trailer. Obviously now this Luthen character, he's a brand new character that they introduced for the series. In an older version of teenage Princess Leia, and I don't know what their plans are for doing a version of Leia, because during the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, clearly they did not have a problem doing a new version of a very young Leia, but it's been a while since we've had Rogue One, and the technology for doing that weird deep fake is way better because of all the Luke Skywalker stuff they've been doing on The Mandalorian. But my guess is just because of the touchy situation, I think they're going to try and avoid doing as much Princess Leia as possible, but it's hard to do the formation of the rebellion without featuring her. So they do feature her. It might just be in the background. It might just be Easter eggs and references. And if we see her on screen, it might just be a version in like the last couple of episodes. They kind of had a similar canon problem with the Obi-Wan Kenobi episodes. Because you were doing a young version of Leia, she couldn't get too close to Darth Vader because he would sense that she was Force sensitive and through the Force start to read her mind and find out who she really was. That's why all the scenes of her were on the Fortress Inquisitorius when Darth Vader wasn't there. So like, by the time she'd escaped, that was when Darth Vader showed up. That was their easy workaround for that problem. This series is meant to be a Rogue One prequel, and of all the new movies, Rogue One looks closest to the way that the original trilogy looked. So this series is going to look much closer to what the original trilogy looked like, just in terms of ships and technology. I've already done a couple trailer videos with a bunch of different footage, so I'll link those below in the description. My episode videos for it will start after it premieres in September. It's going to be a 3-episode premiere too. It's 12 episodes total, so it's like the longest series that we've ever gotten from Disney Plus, from Marvel or Star Wars. And real big reminder, The Mandalorian Season 3 isn't going to start till early February next year, but we're probably going to get The Mandalorian Season 3 trailer in a couple weeks at the big Disney Plus Day event. I will do videos for whatever they wind up releasing. There'll be a bunch of Marvel trailers and a bunch of Star Wars trailers too. While you wait for everything, everyone click here for my House of the Dragon Episode 2 trailer video, and click here for my full She-Hulk Episode 2 video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.